And it was creepy because my friend's voice started whispering in my ear saying, "You're in danger. They're coming after you. You shouldn't have said that," or something. And all of a sudden, I just started trying to fly away in the staircase section and run away. When I ran up the stairs, it went into this gymnasium playroom with all the foam padding, puzzle pieces on the floor, and the ball pit, and a whole bunch of children playing. And there were some children there with intellectual disabilities too, which is really weird. Like, it's so random. But the point of what I'm going off what you saying is like, it's like whenever I tell someone I'm in a dream, they attack me, or like I feel like I'm in danger.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Outside of the Box podcast, where we talk about outside of the box ideas. Today, we have a special topic prepared, and it's actually pretty cool because we're actually in the same room, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, Jose's come all the way from, I don't know if you
San Antonio, Texas. So, yeah, I drove up over here, and yeah, so far it's been good. We're excited to do this live, virtually. And so, to get started, our topic will be lucid dreams. So, Steele, let's kick it off. Have you had any lucid dreams?
Yes. And as we said, let's go and tell people what this is.
Yeah.
What is a lucid dream, Jose?
So basically, lucid dreams are dreams where you actually know that you're in a dream, and you can actually start creating within the dream things that are happening to you, so you can actually decide what to experience, almost, if you can say that. And so that's basically what lucid dream tries to get at, controlling what happens within your dream, because within the dream anything can really happen, right? So it's almost like tapping into, string theory, or something like that, like something a bit outside of the realm of possibilities. So that's a little bit of taste. Or what do you think a lucid dream is? You've experienced it more.
Yeah, definitely. What you said, it's you're aware that you're dreaming, and then you get to the point where you practice it enough, and then you get control of your dream. Because to be lucid means to be aware, to be in control, kind of to know where you are and who you are. So being aware and who you are and where you are and blah, blah, blah in a dream means you're like, I'm in a dream right now. But yeah. Some people wake up right away when they realize that. But with practice, some people can, like me, and I know you've had some yourself, can stay inside the dream and make it last longer. And
yeah,
dream time can feel longer than real time too, so that's pretty interesting. But yeah, I've done that and practiced it where I can stay in a lucid dream for 10 or so minutes. At least it feels like. In some lucid dreams, it felt like 30 minutes that I've had, and I've controlled it. And it's not as easy as like, oh, I can just make things appear at will. It's like, that takes practice too. Like when I first started, I just kind of explored the dreams and tested it out. But I would always wake up because I get too excited. But fast forwarding, since we're going to talk more about our own experiences real quick, basically then I got to the point where I could start manifesting things in the dream and actually changing the environment. And that took a while.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, isn't it interesting? I know we'll talk about a little bit more about lucid dreams, but just to kind of put a hook on the next one that we get to do about lucid dreams, lucid actually means expressed clearly, easy to understand, or bright and luminous. So that brings up the question, what is a dream then? What is the difference?
Exactly.
We'll cover that in another episode.
That's our cliffhanger. That's how we go.
Yeah.
All right, so
experiences. Yeah, what's going on?
So one of the more interesting ones I had was in 2013, I believe. Or maybe, I don't know, I can't remember. But basically, it started, I was in the middle of this jungle, in the middle of a clearing, and I was with my friends, my mom, and some other people. And it was like nighttime, and so basically, we were waiting for something to happen. And I knew I was dreaming instantly. I don't know how. Sometimes I'll have lucid dreams where I just already know I'm dreaming, and I'm already lucid. So that was at the point where I was just still able to explore the dream, but I wasn't able to really do much else, just interact with the environment, and that was it. So I picked up like this weird sci-fi looking gun off the ground, and there's these strange creatures running past us in ghillie suits. They're like almost like aliens, and they knocked over a few people. And we knocked one of them down, and they had like sticks as weapons. Anyways, I picked up one of the guns, and we started leaving the forest, and all of a sudden we were inside like this abandoned building that was in ruins, and there's like fires on the ground and stuff like that. And I know I got all that from playing Modern Warfare 2 at the time, because that was very common in that game. And then we went in, there's like lights flickering, and there's another guy with me, and we're going into another part of the building, and I shoot down some aliens that are running by and stuff like that. I walk past like dead bodies on the ground. And keep in mind, I know I'm dreaming, but it seems so real, you know? And anyways, I end up in my brother's house, my brother's living room for some reason. And my friend's dog is there. And there's like a bigger version of her that's like a different color. It's like white. His dog is actually black in real life, but it's a white dog, a white pug. And then there's a medium-sized one somewhere else. Like
So it was an albino pug.
yeah, exactly. And then there's like 3 different ones with 3 different sizes in the living room. So I go past that, and then I go outside into where the backyard, they have this patio. There's a table there, and there's this ice chest. And inside the ice chest, there's a giant scorpion that kind of looks like a lobster. Like it looks like a sea creature, but it's a giant scorpion. And even though I know I'm dreaming, like in the dream, I'm like, you know what, nothing can hurt me. It's just a dream. It's not real. I wanted to pick it up, but I was too afraid because it seemed so realistic. I was like, I'm going to get hurt. And then one of my friends, annoying friends in the dream, he picked it up and threw it at me, and I got scared and jumped back. Long dream short. I ran away from that, locked him outside because I was like, I don't want to wake myself up and get too scared. I want to still enjoy this dream. So I went to the garage part, went outside to the front where the grass and yard is. And then there's mailbox. I pulled out a bag. I pulled out a bag inside that bag and another bag and another bag. And it was like, didn't even make sense. And then there's these pictures of like my nephew in like a Captain America costume that I made, even though he never wore it in real life ever. So that was that dream. That was pretty weird. Have you had any lucid dreams, is it?
You know, I think I've recognized that I was just awake in a dream. Like my consciousness was there inside the dream, knowing that I was dreaming. But I can't pick out something particular. You know, it usually happens right after I've woken up and then I go back to sleep.
Yeah.
That's usually when I know consciously that I'm falling back into a dream, right?
That's actually one of the most common. Yeah.
And so that's happened before. I mean, usually it's just like, this is going to sound kind of embarrassing, but just like things that you can control, like you wish you, like having a relationship or stuff like that. When I was younger, I guess, you know, making out with a girl or something, like you just know, and then specifically your crush or something like that.
Right.
That was something that's happened before.
Yeah, were you like aware of it and stuff? Like you knew you were dreaming and stuff?
Yeah. And I consciously knew that, you know, I was, you know, bringing into my life this girl or something that I had in the classroom or something.
Well, it's funny. I've had similar dreams like that too, lucid dreams like that too, you know. And it feels very real. I mean, it doesn't feel any different than real life. That's what blows me away. You know, now I'm going to jump into a lucid dream. I was trying to convince you that we were in a dream. And I was going to see if, like, it was possible to make someone else in the dream aware that we're in a dream, you know, just to see if that would work. Started out in my room, and then I knew something was off, right? And so my dream sign, something you use to tell if you're dreaming or not, is spraying a web like Spider-Man. And so I tested that out because I just felt like maybe I'm in a dream. And it worked, and it sprayed on the wall. I was like, okay, I'm dreaming. This is cool. And you were like amazed by it. Like, what the heck just happened? I was like, dude, I think we're in a dream right now. I said, do you realize what this means? We're in a dream. And you just didn't believe me. Like, you were like in complete denial. And so we eventually went downstairs to like my kitchen. And I was basically telling you what lucid dreams were and stuff like that. And I did different demonstrations to show that we weren't in the real world. So, like, I picked up a solid metal spoon and I said, you can bend this. All you have to do is believe that you can control the spoon. And so that it's soft metal, bendable and soft, you know? And I did it, and it bent right in front of your eyes. And you were like, what? You were like blown away. I was like, yeah, dude. I looked at a clock. I said, look at this clock on the stove. And then look away. It said 8:09. And then when you look back, the clock changed to 9 o'clock instantly.
What?
Because clocks change in dreams, it doesn't make sense. So, and you're like, you're just like, you just reacted. You're like, what? And then I said, in dreams, clocks never stay the same. And then at that point, I felt like I was convincing you. I was like, okay, he's starting to believe me. Jose's starting to believe that we're in a dream. So I said, now let's go outside. And I went onto the patio, knelt near the ground, and then I picked up like this random chunk of, actually no, it was a chunk of wood. And I was like, in a dream, you can eat anything you want. And I took a bite of the piece of wood, and it tasted like chocolate. I was like, here, try it. And you're like, damn, it does taste like chocolate. Yeah. And then it started raining like out of nowhere. And I said, we can fly too, but we'll get to that later. I was like giving you like a tour of the dream.
Yeah.
And then and you're like, wow, we can fly. And then there's like a plane in my yard in the driveway, just randomly parked there. And then I said, okay, let's try something. Let's try to make it stop raining. So I lifted both my hands up in the air as if to push the weather away, like the clouds and stuff. And then slowly it started turning into blue skies. And then we just kind of admired the beauty for a second. Went around my shop to the neighbor's house and stuff like that. And I was like a mentor. I was like, Jose, if you get too excited in the dream, you wake up. Because if you wake up, basically, like if you're lucid dreaming, you get too excited about something, you'll wake yourself up and it ruins it. So I was like, you got to stay calm. If you make any sudden movements, you wake up because you move your body when you're in bed, and you have to keep balance. Like I said those words,
Like a scene from Yoda and
right.
Like
Exactly.
the Force.
The craziest part was when we got to our neighbor's house. This is actually something we touched on in the Dreams podcast. So I'll fast forward to like we're already in my neighbor's house and it's like a bar. And then you remember this? I saw a priest in the bar. You just all of a sudden you had an apron on. You were going behind the counter just doing. You're all happy to be in the dream and happy to be a bartender in the dream for some reason.
What?
Like that's what you chose to do. And then I went to the priest and I was talking to the priest and I was like, sir. And then we shook hands and I exchanged names. And I told the priest, I was like, have you ever wondered if this is another dimension? Like you're in another dimension. I mean, have you ever thought that? And he was looking at me puzzled, like, what the hell is he talking about? I was like, have you ever wondered if dreams are connected to other dimensions outside of space and time? And then all of a sudden, everyone in the dream just stopped and looked at me. And the waitress woman got mad at me. And I was like, Jose, we need to get out of here. We need to go. Because I was like afraid we were going to get attacked. And we ran outside. I ran outside. And this creepy girl's voice kept saying Spider-Man, Spider-Man over and over again. And then I was trying to wake myself up at that point and finally did. But that's probably one of the most interesting and scariest lucid dreams I've had.
Dang. That's pretty intense, man. You wonder, like, what would people do inside of a dream if they themselves knew you? It's almost like the dream is trying to deceive you, right? But then when you realize that you're dreaming and you try to tell other people that it is, they turn against you.
Yeah, isn't that weird? And that's not the first time that happened. There's another one, actually the past year, I think, where I was in like a huge staircase-like place with white stairs and golden ceiling and stuff like that. And but then I was in a section of a hallway where it was like an aquarium way in the far back and blue tones and blue lights kind of thing. And I was with a friend and someone else from a movie character. And I was like, we're in a dream right now. I think I was just trying to make it, like, tell them, like we were saying, like, what will happen if you tell them we're dreaming? And it was creepy because my friend's voice started whispering in my ear saying, you're in danger. They're coming after you. You shouldn't have said that or something. And all of a sudden, I just started trying to fly away in the staircase section and run away. When I ran up the stairs, it went into this gymnasium playroom with all the foam padding, puzzle pieces on the floor, and the ball pit, and a whole bunch of children playing. And there were some children there with intellectual disabilities too, which is really weird. Like, it's so random. But the point of what I'm going off what you're saying is like, it's like whenever I tell someone I'm in a dream, they attack me or like I feel like I'm in danger. What do you think that means?
That's interesting because it makes me think of death. What if you get stuck inside of a lucid dream, like and they're following you,
That'd be scary. I had that happen once. Like I was basically, as long as I was at St. Mary's University, I had to get up early in the morning, and I knew I had to. My alarm was set, but I was in this strange hill-like landscape with kind of like pollution almost, heavy pollution and green fog and stuff. I was with my friend Colton and Jacob, and I had a sci-fi weapon from Fallout. And I was like, I knew I was in a dream, but I also knew it was in the early morning. And I was like, I have to get up to go to class. I need to wake up, and I couldn't wake myself up. So that was an example. Like I was stuck in a lucid dream.
That's crazy, man.
But what do you think about that? Like lucid dreams, like why do people? Is it our mind? Is it our unconscious mind? Is it something in our mind that doesn't want us to know that we're dreaming? So when we bring it up to dream characters, they like become hostile. Like why is that?
Yeah. I mean, it could be that we just enter a different dimension, a dimension of all possibility. And you wonder, like, if all possibilities are there, then who is trying to keep order? I guess the people saying, like, oh, you're in danger means, like, it's almost, I don't know if you're watching Loki recently.
Yeah.
So in the variants are the ones that are like affecting the normal flow of conscious or like time, right? But in our consciousness, what if there is something that is trying to control it?
Yeah.
Try to control the normalness of a dream.
Yeah, that reminds me of Carl Jung. He worked in psychology. I don't know if he was what you would call now a psychologist, but he was, he worked in psychology and he pioneered a lot of new things in related to archetypes and symbols. Jordan Peterson talks about him a lot, so I'm sure you probably heard of Carl Jung. Carl Jung talked about dreams a lot. He talked about the collective unconscious, and some people interpret it as like this collective conscious thing that everyone shared, that all the consciousness are connected to. But I think, because what I was reading the other day, it was more about collective unconsciousness, more about how human beings pass down symbols through stories and dreams and all this stuff naturally throughout time and history from one generation to the next. And it's these symbols that can be found in stories. They're called archetypes, kind of, and in dreams. And he thinks there's patterns that we can find. So when you mentioned like maybe our dreams are all part of this bigger thing,
Yeah, it's almost like the connection within the consciousness, consciousness together forming dreams. I don't know, it boggles my mind, like, to think, like, what is a lucid dream? What do you enter, right? Is it just thoughts that you've had? Because people say that usually the faces of the people that you see in dreams tend to be the faces of the people you saw that same day.
Yeah, and there's been faces I haven't even recognized in lucid dreams before, and I'm like, I know that I'm aware of what you're saying, but when I was in the dream, I was like, wow, this is weird. I've never seen this person before, but maybe for a fraction of a second in my real life I did,
Yeah.
And what you're reminding me of is I've had really realistic lucid dreams in the morning where they're kind of called outer body experiences by some, to where I feel like I'm going outside my physical body in my bed, and I'm lifting my dream body up, and I can feel the energy in my dream body. And I get out of bed. That's actually how a lot of my lucid dreams start in the morning. I get out of my physical body that's in bed, and I leave my bed, and it feels lighter, and it's energetic and more flexible. And I go downstairs, and I go do something outside or explore, fly, whatever. But yeah, I've had really realistic ones where I can feel every detail of my dream body, and I can look at my hands, and all the details are there. It's like so crazy. I don't know what that is.
So it's almost like you leave your body.
Yeah, that's what I wonder. That gets into astral projection too, and I don't know much about it, but I've just a bare minimum.
That's interesting, but why the hostility of those who you try to wake up? Why did I get hostile when you tried to show me all those tricks?
You maybe didn't become as hostile, but you definitely you were in denial, and you were very resistant to believing that we were in a dream. It's like every time I tried to convince you, I often wonder, are these dreams connected? Because not everyone remembers their dreams. So I often wonder, were you sharing a dream with me? I mean, I'm talking.
That's what I think too. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't studied enough to know. I'm just
Like
I'm
sometimes
just throwing out ideas.
different plots or stories connect, for some reason.
So I wonder, because when you're in a dream, you don't believe you're dreaming until you wake up. So maybe you, in that situation, you were like, I believe this is real life because you weren't aware that we were lucid dreaming. You believe we were in real life. And I was trying to convince you otherwise. And no matter how many times it took a while. It took like 3 times, 3 different demonstrations I talked about to convince you. And so that's weird. It makes you wonder if you're sharing a dream.
Think about it, like maybe the hostility happened when you actually woke up another human being in another in their dream.
Right.
Right? I don't know. It makes me think.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
Yeah. Well, we'll leave it there.
Sounds good.
We'll talk more about lucid dreams.
Yeah, in another podcast. We have a lot more to talk about. I'm excited.
Sounds good. Well, thank you everyone for watching. If you really like this episode, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel because we are really dedicated to showing more content like this. And so until next time, we will see you.